not care about your feelings. We do not care about your feelings. Got God's in the building. We got the gods in the building. We got the gods in the building. Got God's in the building. We do not care about your feelings. We do not care about your feelings. Don't care about you.
With scriptures we shake and bake. Watch around Babylon, make it quick. Our people, they see us, we make them say. The gods I come back to come say that they make them pay. That's what the Bible say. G is for great, S O is for overkill. D is for dominate. S for superior, yeah, but we winning still. You heathens, you making me mad. So I'ma go out and prophesy. Esau wanna be us so bad. Your DNA full of lies. Stealers, the branders, and sellers, the killers. You teaching your offspring not to be with us. Today is new day. I can read. My God and my Bible resembling me.
We got the gods in the building. We got the gods in the building.
In Christianity, you're getting ready to celebrate Thanksgiving, which is the slaughter of the Native Americans.
Right.
Let me get Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49.
Bring it out.
Because Thanksgiving is not biblical. Thanksgiving is genocide against your own brothers and sisters, and we continue to celebrate this garbage.
Right.
Read what you got.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 39. Bring it out. Thou shalt plant vineyards, verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
So the Native Americans, they were on this side of the land first. They traveled over here over hundreds of years before the so-called white man came and claimed that he discovered it.
Right.
The so-called white man is this nation that came from far, came from the eastern side of the world. Read it again.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
My brother, don't you know that Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving was genocide on the Native Americans? Do you celebrate Thanksgiving? Do you believe in that? Read.
From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
Read.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
So when Christopher Columbus, when they came here in 1492, when the Spaniards came on this side of the world as well, the so-called Native Americans, they spoke Hebrew. They did not speak Spanish. They did not speak the Hispanics and the natives. They did not speak Spanish. They did not understand English. They spoke Hebrew. They did not understand that tongue. Read.
A nation of fierce countenance.
There was a nation of fierce countenance. Why? Because they came with one mission: to rape, rob, destroy, and to pillage.
Right.
Read.
Which shall not regard the person of the old.
They did not spell the older generation. They did not spell the elders of the natives. Read.
Nor show favor to the young.
Nor did they spell the young. They dashed them against stones. They gave them all smallpox and chicken pox and stuff like that.
Teach.
Read.
And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle.
And what happened was the so-called white man started to eat up the fruit of the cattle. They started to slaughter the buffaloes of the Native Americans. They started to starve them out. They started to commit genocide on these people to take over their lands.
Right.
Okay? How did they do this? They didn't come with war in their heart. They disguised it. Give me that in Psalms. I believe it's Psalm 55 and 20. I believe that's Psalm 55 and 20. In their you know what I want?
Yes, sir.
Yes, give me that. Because what we need to learn about the so-called white man is that he is not the friendly neighborhood white man. He is in fact the devil the Bible speaks of. He is a deceiver. He deceived the Native Americans and made treaties with them and broke them.
Right.
Read.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 20.
Read.
He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him.
Because they made peace treaties. They made peace treaties with the Native Americans. They said, listen, we have this understanding and that understanding. And the Native Americans, they believed the white man when the Bible says to never trust your enemy. Read.
He had broken his covenant.
And he broke those very same treaties with the Native Americans. Read.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
The words of the so-called white man's mouth was smoother than butter. Because, like the story that they teach, that the pilgrims and the Indians, which is falsified by the way, they came with that, but that was not their real intentions. They had ulterior motives.
Right.
Their ulterior motives was to take control of this land, to colonialize this land.
Right.
Read.
But war was in his heart.
He had war in his heart. He had drawn swords in his mouth because they knew what they were going to do. And that's what they did. And now today, we call ourselves celebrating Thanksgiving, not knowing that history of our brothers and sisters being killed, being murdered. And now there's a meal that represents our brothers and sisters. Read.
His words were softer than oil.
Uh-huh.
Yet were they drawn swords.
Because the white man, he had, like I said, he had his mission all alone. Now today, we have, give me that in Amos chapter 5. Give me that in Amos chapter 5. Because what we have today is our people celebrate Thanksgiving not knowing that the turkey represents the body of the Indians. That the cranberry sauce represents the blood of the Indians. Read what you got.
The book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 21.
Uh-huh.
I despise your feast days.
This is the Most High God talking to the Israelites. He started to not acknowledge us when we bring our sacrifices for our own feast days. Why? Because we was neglecting our feast days and go after the so-called white man. My brother walked into the dagger shop. Do you know that we are supposed to celebrate the new moon according to God and not Thanksgiving? Do you know that Thanksgiving is not your heritage?
We don't.
Come holler at us when you come out there. Read it again.
I despise your feast days.
And guess what? The Israelites today are the same way. We hate and despise God's Sabbath day. We hate and despise the new moon and feast of dedication and so on and so forth. But we love Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and all of this other garbage. Read.
And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
Because the Most High, he stopped smelling our sacrifices, and today he's damn sure not smelling the sacrifice of the Thanksgiving turkey. He has nothing to do with that.
Good.
Because that's genocide of his people. Read on.
Though ye offer me burnt offering and your meat offering,
Read.
I will not accept them.
Because why? Because our people do not have the mind according to the Most High God. Our people are not intended to please God. We are intended to please our oppressor.
Right.
That's why we're celebrating that. Give me Colossians chapter 2, verse 8.
Bring it out.
My sister, how you doing? You celebrate Thanksgiving? Okay, that's what we're going over. Do you know the history of Thanksgiving?
Not really.
Okay, well, we're going to teach you some history about Thanksgiving. We just finished going over it. So the history that they teach us is that Thanksgiving is the celebration of the pilgrims and the Indians, correct? That's what they teach us about, right? How they all came together and they sat down and they had a feast and all of that, right? But what they leave out is that the Indians were being hospitable to the so-called pilgrims or the white man, the Native Americans. But what the white man did, go back to that in Psalm 55.
Bring it out.
What the white man did, they already knew what they came there for. They came there to take over the Native Americans' land. You know that the Native Americans was here first, right? This was their land. That's why they call it Native Americans, right? And then on it was changed to being called Indians, which means slaves, right? Read this.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 20.
Come on.
He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him.
The he is the so-called white man or those pilgrims. He put his hands, read it again.
He had put forth his hands.
He put forth his hands to slaughter the Native Americans. Like if you step forward and you look at this sign, you're going to see some of the very same history that I'm talking about that they don't put in our history books. Read.
Against such as be at peace with him.
Because the Native Americans was being charitable to them for coming. They welcomed them into their land. They were showing them things and stuff like that. The whole time, the so-called white man, he had Christopher Columbus to come over here and to spy out the land, and Christopher Columbus was sending word back to England and stuff like that. And what he started to do is he was like, listen, okay, they have this many chiefs, okay, they have these types of weapons, they have these type of animals, it's this type of land, right? He's being crafty the whole time. The white man is a very crafty person. Read.
He had broken his covenant.
And he broke those treaties and covenants that they made with the Indians. The whole time the Indians is treating them good, he's plotting evil against them. The whole time that they are feeding them and stuff like that so-called dinner that they teach us about, the whole time they was planning on, okay, we're gonna bring blankets with smallpox and give it to them and trade. You understand? They traded with the Indians, and guess what? There was one form of genocide. Read.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
And they also, like I said, when they made those treaties and stuff, they say, okay, we're gonna be friends and all of that, right? And just like today, they teach us about that song, this land was your land, this land is my land. What they're telling you is, okay, this land your land right now, but in a minute it's gonna be ours because we about to kill y'all and take it. Read.
Bring it out.
But war was in his heart.
He had war in his heart. Christopher Columbus did not accidentally come on this side of the world. He read the Bible in the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 13 verse 40 to 46, and he got his route to get to this side of the world.
Right.
He know he was coming over this side of the world to take over.
Bring it out.
Go back to Deuteronomy 28:49. What we going over is the story of Thanksgiving was falsified. It is genocide, because I want you to look on this sign. I want you to see, where do you see yourself on this sign? And you're going to also see the Native Americans, what God called them. This sign right here, on the front. Where do you see yourself? What does your father consider today? On one side is what America calls us, and the other side is what God calls us. It is Judah, right? So American blacks. Now, when you look at Gad, that's what God calls the Native Americans, right? So what I'm showing you on this sign is the 12 tribes of Israel. That is our true nationality. We are all the same people, blacks, Hispanics, and natives.
Right.
So when you celebrate Thanksgiving, you're celebrating the genocide of your own brothers and sisters.
Right.
They'll never teach us that. Read what you got.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 49.
Come on.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee.
Now what I'm going over right here, jump up to verse 15, then come right back. In the chapter of Deuteronomy 28, I know you believe in the Bible because you're standing here listening to it. So when you get home, I want you to go home and read Deuteronomy 28, but we're going to bring out some of it to you right now. It lists the blessings and the curses to the Israelites for either keeping God's commandments or breaking God's commandments. We're going to get to the curses right now. Read.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 15.
Read.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
Read.
to observe, to do all his commandments.
So it says this is what's going to happen if the Israelites do not listen to God and keep his commandments. Read.
And his statutes.
And his statutes, his sub-laws. Come on.
Which I command thee this day.
Which Moses taught to us in the wilderness from the Most High God. Read.
That all these curses.
And all these what?
All these curses.
Read.
Shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So now jump down to verse 49. Because one, that's curses. Look at these signs, sis. Is this not our history? This is the history of what we call the Northern Kingdom, which is the kingdom of Ephraim, or the kingdom of Israel, right? That is the so-called Hispanics and natives. That's their history. This happened. This is real. This is what happened to us. Slavery. The Bible documented slavery. It was prophecy, was turned to history. Why? Because we broke God's commandments. Read.
Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flyeth.
Now, what I want you to understand, what he's saying is, Moses prophesying, listen, there's going to be a nation to come from the other side of the world. It says it's swift as the eagle fly because it's talking about the so-called white man. When you look throughout history, Where's that sign with the eagle? When you look throughout history, the white man has always represented himself as the eagle. In Spain, today in America, you see that? That's talking about the so-called white man. So when the natives and the Hispanics was on this side of the world already, the so-called white man came from the other side of the world. Read that part again. Now it's clicking. Read.
From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flying.
That's that nation that came from far, as swift as the eagle flying. So now we know who it's talking about. Let's see what they did when they came. Come on.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Because the natives, the native Indians, like you celebrate Thanksgiving. Have you ever heard of what's his name? Tonto? Squanto. Have you ever heard of Squanto? Sometimes they teach about him. He was the link between the natives. He was a Native American and the so-called white man. Because when they first came in 1492, when Christopher Columbus came, they took him back to Spain, and he learned their language. It was Spain or England. They took him back. He learned their language, so he understood both languages, and he translated because they spoke Hebrew. Hebrew is our native language.
Right.
That's our true language, and they spoke that up until they was colonialized. Okay, read.
Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance.
There was a nation of fierce countenance because these people are pure evil. Just like today, the so-called white man is pure evil. They shoot us down in the streets. They kill us. They got all forms of genocide on us. Okay, read.
Which shall not regard a person of the old.
When you look at that sign, Officer Aaron, let's get this sign right here. No, the other one. Yes, the truth about Thanksgiving. When you look at this sign, you're going to see the person of the old and of the young being slaughtered. What we showing you, this history is in the Bible. Read that part again.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shall favor to the young.
Because what they was doing is they was committing genocide on them. What you're learning is the true history of what happened at Thanksgiving. So should we be celebrating the slaughter of our brothers and sisters? No, we should not. Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. Because that is not, are you a Christian? Are you a Christian?
I have a relationship with God.
Okay, you have a relationship with God. So what that lets me know is you're going to do what God says, right? God never says celebrate Thanksgiving.
Right.
God has high holy days for us to celebrate in the Bible that they do not teach in church. Why? These churches are false.
That's right.
It's time for our people to wake up and come out of these churches.
That's
Read.
right. The book of Colossians chapter 2 verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you.
Sis, you were spoiled, just like the rest of us at one point were spoiled. Come on.
Through philosophy.
Through philosophies, things that were stored up of our oppressors that they gave to us. Read.
And vain deceit.
And vain deceits. Because we just went over the true history of Thanksgiving, but that's not the story that they tell. That's not the story that they start. Way from when we're in preschool and they raise us up every year when we cut out our hands and make the little turkeys and all of that. They don't talk about nothing that we just went over.
Right.
Because they teaching us vain deceits. Read.
After the tradition of men.
After what?
After the tradition of men.
Thanksgiving is a tradition of man. And not only just man, but the so-called white man, our oppressors. Read.
After the rudiments of the world.
Thanksgiving is a rudiment of the world. Read.
And not after Christ.
And not after Christ. Thanksgiving have nothing to do with Christ. And guess what, sis? It's the same thing for Christmas, New Year's, Easter, all of these things, Mother's Day, Father's Day, all of these things have nothing to do with God or the Israelites.
That's right.
That's who we are.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. The Israelites have been scattered across the four corners of the earth, as prophesied in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Here in Israel United in Christ, we need your help to recover the remnant of our people, teach them the gospel. Please help us, support us, and join or donate to the Booster Club today. Shalom.
It's so hard to serve God. And why when I say that I'm a Jew, it sound odd. For years I've been walking around saying that I'm a black man. I ain't saying that no more, it sounds wrong, man.
This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.